So I want to do something. I'm going to spring something on you. Okay.
Right.
All right. Don't be worried. We have the first inning from the Cubs Dodgers game the other night. And I figured since Justin Steele pitched and he's a lefty,
Uh-huh.
I want you to kind of walk us through what he might be thinking. And you can tell Rob to stop after any particular pitch. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the first inning. He's facing Betts, Freeman, and Trey Turner. So
Not a bad top three.
right. So what are we trying to do against Mookie Betts?
Well, the scouting report on Mookie Betts is kind of a what do you call it? A mixed bag. He actually gets the inside balls pretty well, but you can set him up for him and then you can jam him pretty good. But he's overly aggressive. So what you want to throw him is pitches that start as strikes, end up as balls. So okay, let's just do this. So first pitch, he was trying to go fastball low and away just to steal a strike, thinking he's not going to swing first pitch. Doesn't work. I'm going to guess the second pitch is going to be off speed. No. Okay. Fastball away. Once again, just trying to get a strike, trying to get on the board, get strike one. So now you get strike one. Now, he's going to be swinging. This would be a good time to throw an off speed pitch. Or just keep throwing heaters because what do I know? Okay. So no, stop that one. So the last pitch, so he just threw him 4 fastballs in a row. Right. And when you're facing a righty who is good at getting his hands inside the ball and hitting it to left field on fastballs in, when you've shown him fastballs, what you want to throw, changeups aren't necessarily always going to do what you want to do in this situation, but you can make a slider, we call it back foot slider, because you want it to dive at his back foot, look like a fastball longer than a changeup will look like a fastball because of what he's seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that those last fastballs coming in and low and in, especially, this is going to be on that same line and then dart further in. And that's how you get that half swing and miss, right? Literally back foot. I mean, that's when you talk about a back foot slider, it's exactly what you're looking for.
That's executed perfectly. Right?
Perfect. 2-2, because 2-2s are action pitches. You want the ball, you want him swinging, you want the ball put in play, or you want to strike out. Going 3-2 is much more favorable to hitters than 2-2 is. And so 2-2 is generally an action pitch. So if you're going to throw a breaking ball, it needs to be executed into a point where you're going to get him to swing.
Okay. So Freddie Freeman's up now. What's the book?
Freddie, okay, here's one of the most weirdest bats I've ever had. Freddie Freeman started him 3-0 on 3 fastballs, and I threw 3 fastballs right down the middle, and he swung and missed the first 2 and popped up the third one. I have no idea how it happened. I don't know how to pitch to Freddie Freeman. He does a really, really good job of getting his hands inside. So he's like the extreme version of Mookie Betts, because you'll see all the time he will take balls that are inside, like off the plate inside, and drive them in the left center gap, because that's what he's doing. He keeps his hands in here, right? So you can actually get him away, even though he goes away well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you want to set up inside.
Yeah, it's almost like the plate has shifted on him.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I mean, he's setting up away. I'm gonna guess based on the one knee, it's a curveball, but don't just go. No, it's fastball. Once again, good pitch. I mean, there's nothing you can say about that. Perfectly painted low and away. So now he's going to go in with it.
He's going to go in?
Yeah.
He
tried. Left it down. So now you're going to go in again. A lot of times when you're facing lefty, going multiple fastballs in a row is very effective because they're looking for a breaking ball. They're expecting it. So 1-2 after 3. That was not a changeup. That was a fastball. So after 3 fastballs and that last one being up and in, you can either go fastball one away, try to freeze him, or a curveball off of that. So he tried to freeze him, missed his spot. Once again, 2-2 is going to be an action pitch, right? So we're going to want him to swing the bat. So that's an accidental waste pitch, but you want to swing here. Another fastball. We're going to set up there again. There must be a scouting report on Freddie right now that's throwing and breaking balls is not where you want to go at the time being, because the scouting reports change throughout the season as well. I don't know if this is a thing people know. They're not stagnant. You look at what they've done in the past and what they've done throughout the season, but you also look at what they've been doing like their last 30 plate appearances. So then you can kind of weigh which one of those you think is the most important at that time. So 2-2, setting up away again. There's a
Oh,
curveball.
wasn't looking
That's
for
a
it.
good one. I mean, that's he's looking fastball again. He has to be. I always think this is funny. I've never really understood taking a breaking ball that if it was a fastball, it would have been a strike, right? And it's still a strike as a breaking ball. Do you see what I mean? So if you're looking fastball and you see breaking ball and it's a strike, I don't know. So it's like he recognized it, but then didn't recognize it was going to be a strike.
Just
You know
couldn't
what I
pull the
mean?
trigger.
Couldn't pull the trigger. Yeah, but it was a good pitch.
Okay, I want to stop here. You said something really interesting, that scouting reports constantly change, which makes sense because one guy, one month can be hitting 400 and the next month he's hitting 180. So, right. And there's reasons that a guy struggles. He's susceptible to the breaking ball, whatever. Can't catch up to the heater right now. We get that. Things change. Guys aren't feeling their best. How do you weigh that with how a guy has done against you in his career?
That's kind of the catch-22, right? Just because somebody hit a pitch you threw before doesn't mean they're going to hit it again. First of all, what you have to realize is why the pitch got hit. So if I dotted a fastball low and away on Freddie Freeman and he hit a double in the gap, but it was the first pitch of the at bat, he was sitting fastball, and even though it was a good pitch, he was just so ready for it that he hit it well. Okay, so the next time I face him, he's sitting that same, fastball low and away, but I throw it in and it jams him, but he still gets a hit, right? So now I've thrown him 2 fastballs and he has 2 hits. But you have to realize they're completely different reasonings. Or if you throw a fastball down the middle and it gets crushed. So it's like, yeah, this guy's OPS on fastballs is, against me is super high. And it's like, okay, well, where were they? And you can literally go look where they were. And it's like, oh, that was down the middle, down the middle, down the middle. Of course he hit them well. I think the main thing that is kind of not spoken about as much anymore because we talk about scouting reports so much is what feels really good for you that day, right? So like he's clearly coming out in this game and his fastball's feeling good because he's facing 2 of the best hitters in baseball and just heater, right? And then a breaking ball. So that day in the bullpen, yeah, he probably was like, fastball's carrying well, it feels really good, I'm commanding it, so I'm gonna rely on that today. Sometimes you just say, that's what I'm doing. It's all about how you feel.
But that
It's
day,
not, I wish it was a perfect science. It's just not.
no, it's not. I guess, and that's the cat and mouse of it all. But that day you started in Colorado where you threw what? Was it 69 straight fastballs to start the game?
Yeah.
But why did you, was that, why?
So that was because in Colorado, they always talk about how the ball carries a lot, but as a pitcher, one of the reasons that balls get hit so much in Colorado is not because just the ball travels further. It's because a lot of times breaking balls don't move as much. It just carries a little bit more because of the thin air. So it doesn't have quite the same movement. So I was just like, I'm just going to rely on fastballs until basically it stops working. That doesn't mean that I went into that game thinking I'm literally going to throw all fastballs, but it was just working. So we just kept doing it. I don't know.
But after like 8 pitches, weren't you like, hey, dude, aren't you going to call? Or did you guys go into it the first inning just saying we're living with the heater until they make an adjustment?
Yeah. First inning is a lot of times like, hey, we're throwing heaters. I've done that before for other games too, where it's just, unless we get into a certain situation where you 100% know that something else is the right pitch to throw, we'll throw all fastballs this inning. Other people do that too. It's much less common, I think, nowadays because everybody, loves spin and people aren't really as concerned with efficiency now. It's a lot about strikeouts and stuff, and that's just the way baseball's changed. But yeah, it's not a completely foreign thing. It wasn't the first time I had done that. It was obviously the first and only time I'll throw that many in a row, but yes.
Okay. We'll move on because I think the next thing to Turner is like 1 pitch or something, but that was really good. And I apologize for springing it on you, but it was really good.
What you did to me, unfortunately, was give me backwards. It was two backwards at bats, which is all fastballs and then one breaking ball is not the norm for nowadays, especially lefty lefty.
Oh,
You know, like you're going to see a lot more first pitch breaking balls, whatever, because people nowadays like my spin is really good. I'm going to make him hit